CRM improving the player journey. The need for outsourced automation. Moderated by Domenico Mazzola. Flows.
Hello everybody, I'm back again, and but this time with let's say few guests. So I would like to start the panel just giving a few minutes to my guests to introduce themselves, and then I think we can start with the question. Rob, do you mind?
Yeah, hi, Rob Dowling, Chief Commercial Officer at Globalbet. Again, been in the industry for about 10 years now, and predominantly worked with platforms and backends for most of the time. Now I'm working with a virtual sports provider. We're trying to understand further how flows work.
I'm Daniel. I'm the Director of Operations for Dalerio Consulting. We work in outsourcing. We help companies better cater to their users. And I'm happy to be in this panel and discuss more about the automation that this industry can get.
I am Trung. I'm the CEO of Actable AI, which is a no-code data science and AI platform. So yeah, we provide the cloud-based SaaS service, and any say data analyst or data scientist can use our platform to easily build AI predictive model, causal model, or time series models. Yes, it's great to be here.
Hello everyone, I'm Charlie York. I'm the CMO at iWinback. We were lucky enough to take home Marketing Solution of the Year at the awards the other night there. We are a communication platform. We integrate with all the major CRMs and have many cool network partnerships. And my brother, who started the company, is a PhD in customer behavior, and we specialize in building the best customer journeys in the game.
Very nice. So I suggest the concept of the panel is I will ask a question to everybody, and everybody feel free just to intervene and give his own opinion about that. So Daniel, actually I would like to start with you. So, and let's try to combine automation with other kind of services. So how do you think automation tools can be combined together with outsourcing services like the one you provide? And what kind of value do you see in them?
Definitely. Now we've come a long way from the process where for one company we used to have hundreds of people just doing the back office operations and everything being a mess. Now with automation we can reduce the number of staff and have them specialize in different services. We don't need 100 people to deal with email marketing and another 100 people to deal with adding bonuses and everything. Of course, automation is always good in making the processes more efficient, in having faster response to users, but you can never lose touch with the human element. So, although we can automate most of the part, we always need a real human to answer to the queries of the users. You can't always have bots and automation and automatic emails to answer to them. They need to have a real human who can understand them, who can better answer their question, and is not just terms and conditions that's reading the terms there and that's replying to the users. They always need a real human behind in order to feel more welcome and to have a warmer experience on the platform.
That's good. Anyone?
I want to jump in on that one, actually.
Of course, feel free. That's why we are really...
Okay, we're here talking about CRMs. We should creating automation tools as well. So the reason why we're doing this is because we cannot keep up with the speed at which we have to do these processes. And it's the reason why today we're starting to see everybody, or most operators at least, are choosing even their platforms based on which CRMs they're integrated with, what kind of player journeys they can create, what kind of processes they can automate, and how fast they can get to market as well, and different markets. Now, with all, let's say, European Union, 27 countries, 27 jurisdictions, I mean, we've been through this, Domenico, for years now, where every 6 months we need to change, adjust, or whatever. So we need to have the CRMs in place to make sure that we can do this properly, to avoid getting these fines. And I'm also coming to the mindset saying that AI is going to start playing a very important place now, because the speed at which we are having to change things we still cannot plan this from a CRM perspective because it still takes an amount of time to get there.
Yes.
Maybe where
Yeah, I would agree with that. One of the things that I would bring up at this point is the classic question of build or buy. And for us, one thing that we run into with many clients when we're onboarding is they'll share that experience of having spent so much time and money trying to build automated processes for themselves and eventually coming around to picking something off the shelf that's meaningful and appropriate and addresses their need for automation. Even if you have the talent and time and money to build it, you may not be successful in building something that works for you when there is probably something out there that is appropriately priced and will achieve what you're looking to achieve.
Yeah.
I would just want to add some insights on the automation in the hottest and latest trend of AI as well and machine learning. So the automation is coming to AI and machine learning as well. So basically 4 or 5 years ago, I was a data scientist building a predictive model. It took me like months or even half a year, and then it still didn't take into account the time to deploy the model and monitor the model. But now everything is coming together in a no-code platform. I mean, a data analyst or data scientist can use the no-code platform to build predictive model in a couple of hours and then have that ready to be deployed in your game or in your CRM. So yeah, it's happening, and it's happening really quick in AI and data science as well.
So Rob, now we comes to you, and I'm curious to ask you this question. Why do you think we reached then the point where it's now necessary to bring outsourced automation tool into our operations?
Okay, so the demands that platforms are having from a regulatory perspective and from basically functionality are becoming way too much as well. So we need to focus from a platform on the product itself. Now, CRMs are again specific and dedicated to doing what they do, and I don't think any platform can keep up with the changes that are going on. So let PAMs and sportsbooks do what they do best, which is
allow me to make a distinction between CRMs and automation tools.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. Please.
Fair enough. So I personally still don't think that the PAMs have the time to do that. I understand what you're saying, that we need to outsource the automation tools, going back to your question. And the reason as well behind it is also the amount of resources that is required. Today, the cost of servicing our clients is growing and growing, and obviously the markets are getting smaller and smaller, the revenue share is getting smaller.
And developers are getting more expensive.
Developers are getting more and more expensive, fair enough, but it's also a matter of we are needing to use more and more marketing tools. Mm-hmm. The cost of marketing is going up. What clients are expecting to see from brands is obviously going up as well. So you have to start trying to mitigate from somewhere. We've got to save the money from somewhere, and obviously automation saves you on resources, saves you on a lot of things. So that is obviously the main point why a lot of people do that.
I understand. Anybody wants to say something about it? All right. So let's switch to the next question. Trung, let me ask you then. Do you see automation tools, but in general also AI tools, only relevant for a CRM perspective, or could you see any application outside in the operator's life?
Oh, not at all. So I think AI has been widely applied to a lot of different domains and vertical and industries. So yeah, the automation is going to happen, of course, and it's happening in CRM, and also happening a lot and very quickly in a lot of different domains, even healthcare, or like things like sales, or customer retention or happiness, or like optimizing for pricing and lots of different things. And yeah, definitely not just CRM.
I understand. And Daniel, do you see any practical examples where we can apply, let's say, a combination between, let's say, outsourcing in terms of services and automation tools? How do you see this working?
Well, basically, automation tools, CRM is their main area where they can really show what they're made of. So it's the easiest way to implement, the most efficient way to implement automation is the CRM part. The other parts are slowly being developed out as well. But there are always limitations to how far the automation part can go. It can help with a lot of things, but as the science evolves, as the companies evolve, you always have to change up the automation procedures. You always have to add new procedures. That's why I think that as your company is allowing normal people, normal business people to add new areas to the automation, to expand the automation, in the same way there is a lot of opportunity for the human element to interfere with the automation and to add more value to it.
I understand. And Larry, how do you see this from a marketing perspective?
Charlie, my
Sorry.
brother's Larry. Yeah. So I would sort of disagree about CRM being where automation is able to really stretch its legs, because what we're able to do with automation in direct communication is actually quite remarkable. So internally, on our full service side, we're able to run hundreds of campaigns each month, millions of communications, and we're able to do that with like a single or two account managers, where in a traditional operator scenario, they might have 6 or 8 or 10 people doing that, and they may not be getting reasonable reporting out of it. So I think it's a question of actually finding the appropriate items to place in your tech stack and choosing the right automation for your application. Looking at the basic fundamentals of what your product is or your service is, what your market is that you're aiming at, your price point, and then developing your tech stack around that in the most intelligent way possible.
I understand. And so, guys, let's go to the next question, which I would like to get an answer from all of you, if you can. Imagine you have the crystal ball with you right now. How do you see the future between, let's say, the combination between operation with all these tools? Because we have here EI, we have here marketing, we have outsourcing services, and we have suppliers as well. So how do you see all of these different actors working together, helping operators, speeding up their time to market? Rob, you want to start?
Okay. Difficult question, actually.
I know.
It's very crystal ball, is it? But I do see that we are having a lot of different services coming in. AI, as you said, automations and flows as well, what you were doing. But I do see that we're going to move into a place where everything's working together, where I think even the creation of the flows and the creation of the CRM journeys, let's say, might actually be started from an AI perspective as well, where it's not us that create the basics, the numbers speak for themselves. And sometimes we don't look at the numbers, we look at the emotion of what we feel is right. Whereas the AI might not do that and actually just say, this is what you should be doing, because this is what the numbers are saying.
So then we will need O'Connor to come and save us.
Yes, kind of, something like that. But you understand,
Of course.
I'm not saying that is the right way, that's the right approach, but I think going forward, as everything gets faster, I mean, we're in an instant society, I said this earlier, everything has to happen very quick, very fast. I want to get my results very quickly. So one of the ways to get there is to combine the human element, obviously the AI element, in creating your different journeys or your automations, and let maybe the machine tell you what your automation should be.
Sure. Daniel.
To add up to the example of Robert, of how the automation and the human element could work together, we can take the example of Amazon. It's one of the biggest employers in the world, and their warehouses are some of the most efficient warehouses in the world. Now, what have they done in their warehouses? They don't have a lot of people managing, they don't have a lot of people overseeing. They have used software and automation. And they have also used gamification in order to have their employees as efficient as possible. Of course, there are ethical questions that will come to this, as the employees sometimes they are overworked, but that's another topic. But in terms of automation, it has helped to increase the efficiency by over 3 times than the normal employees. They have the timers, they have the leaderboards, they have the scoreboards for their employees, and they can manage to get the job done faster, more efficiently by combining the human element and the automation part. So we shouldn't see them as direct competitors, but on the other hand, as some sort of fulfillment to each other's tasks.
Yeah, I just want to add that I cannot agree anymore about the element of like combining between like the AI and the automation and the human power. Then I think it would become a superpower, right? I think about the things like the lead generation and like if you want to close the sales, like before, like you know, we have to look at like different leads and then we rank them ourselves. But then with the automation and with the AI, we can have a much better method to automatically rank them, so we can the sale can become much more efficient and they can convert more sale in a short amount of time. So I think that yeah, we should maybe put more emphasis on like the element of the augmentation of the AI and automation on what we are doing right now. I think that things will become much more efficient and more productive.
Thank you.
Coming back to the point that Rob made earlier, where we know that operators are being squeezed, and if you're not using your marketing budget effectively, we can count on people being left behind. And one thing that we've noticed is that if people are not automating certain parts of their lifecycle marketing, like R&Ds, like failed deposits, like reactivation, you're leaving money on the table. So having something like our product, a communication platform, and using your automation effectively and maximizing on your marketing spend is going to be something that helps you survive, particularly in developed markets.
All right. I guess we can wrap it up saying that for now it's important from operation point of view to keep an eye on all these potential new tools that you can start implementing in your operation to make your life easier and to implement new functionality faster. Probably in the future we'll be expecting even a different system telling us what we should automate and how. But for now we leave it there for the human beings. So thank you so much for being here with us again today, and see you soon.